Right, next foundation topic for GCSE is going to look at sequences and nth term. Now these two are very similar, but you do see two different types of questions. We'll start off with sequences. This is normally within the first sort of 5 pages of the paper. This should be a question really that you are getting full marks on. The first thing you need to do is read the question carefully. So many people don't put the rule in words like it asks for, where I've highlighted, and lose marks because of that. You need to make sure once you've found it, you put it in words. You don't want to be dropping stupid marks at early points in the paper, okay? They normally always give you 2 sequences. By the way, you don't have to fill in the next terms like some people do unless it asks for it, okay? So you don't need to fill in the little dotted line next to the 33 or the little dotted line next to the 9. You just have to find what the rule is and then write it down. Now, basically, if you look at the sequences, you can work out what you need to do, okay? If it goes up, so from left to right, if it goes up, you're either adding or you're multiplying, okay? That's basically it, okay? So if it goes up from left to right, you add or multiply. And the same way then in reverse, if it goes down from left to right, then you're going to be subtracting or dividing. Okay, so first one, nice easy one. If you look at the sequence, it's going up. So I'm either thinking I'm adding or I'm multiplying. Now I'm going to start with adding first, and I'm just going to do trial and error basically. Right, 6 to get to 15. Well, to get from 6 to 15, I have to add on 9. So I'm going to put add 9 there. Right, let's see if that rule works now for the next one. 15 to get to 24. That's also add on 9. Okay, so it's a coincidence at the moment. Let's just try it again. 24 add 9 would get me to 33. Okay, so this one's an add one. I don't need to bother trying the multiply because I know for certain it's an add one. So underneath, just write add 9 each time. That will be 1 mark. Next one is going down. So this time I'm either subtracting or I'm dividing. Now I'll try subtracting first. And I'm going to work towards the end, towards the far right first because it's just smaller numbers. Right, 27 take away 18 is 9. So that would be a take away 18 to get from 27 to 9. Let's see if that works for the other one. 81 take away 18. That isn't going to get me to 27. 81 actually take away 54 will get me to 27, okay? So this one, they're not common now. One I've got take away 54, the other one I've got take away 18. It can't be a subtract. So that must mean it's some sort of divide, okay? Now, what I do here, I wouldn't work with a 243 to get down to 81 because it's harder for our brains to spot what's happening there. I use the smaller numbers first and then see if the rule works for the bigger number because I've got a clue then, okay? So 27 to get to 9. Well, how many times does 9 go into 27? 3 times. So 27 divided by 3 is 9, okay? Let's check that next rule. 81 divided by 3, you can work that out separately if you roughly want to see what it is. Yeah, that will also give me 27, okay? So I have got divide by 3 this time. 243, if you actually worked it out and did long division, divided by 3 would give you 81. So this one's not a subtract, it's a divide. So again, I'd write down divide by 3 each time, okay? So if it's up, add or multiply, just try them. And if it's down, subtract or divide. Obviously, they're only worth 1 mark each. They should be nice, easy ones to get right. Right, next thing, this is towards the back end of the paper. C grade topic this is. It's called Nth Term. Now, similar to sequences. Nth Term, though, rather than easy ones that you're just going to write down in words, add 3, add 6, take away 4, whatever it is a rule to describe a certain sequence. So that if I ask for the 1000th number that comes in that sequence, you could work it out rather than writing down the sequence 1,000 times until you get to the actual answer, okay? So it's finding a rule that describes how the sequence actually moves from one number to the next, okay? Now, there's my made-up sequence, 3, 5, 7, 9. The first thing you do is you're going to look at what the sequence is going up in, okay? So for this one, I'm going to draw my little red arrow on. Each of them go up in 2. 3 add 2 is 5, 5 add 2 is 7, 7 add 2 is 9, okay? So there's obviously something going on there with adding 2. Now this is really important. This is the type of question you want to be asking yourself when you're in the exam. what sequence goes up in 2? So what famous sequence do I know that you've probably learned since you've been in nursery that goes up in 2? Well, it's the 2 times table. So underneath, all I'm going to write is times by 2. Okay, that's denoting the 2 times table. Right, the next thing I'm going to ask is, what's the first number in that times table? Okay, now the first number in the 2 times table is 2. Then it goes 4, then it goes 6, then it goes 8. Now if you think of them numbers that I've just said, they are not the same as the numbers in our sequence, okay? So we've worked out it goes up in 2s, but it's not quite right yet, okay? First number in my times table is 2, but the first number in my sequence is a 3. Now to get from a 2 to a 3, I need to add 1. So what this rule is times by 2, add 1. Okay, now to write it in the form of nth term, that's all you need to do, times by 2, add 1, that's the easy way to do it. This is just a bit of presentation really. What you do, you switch the times sign in the 2 back to front, and you replace the times sign with an n, because it's nth term. So 2n, so 2 and the times flip round, replace the times sign with an n, 2n, and then copy the second bit, plus 1. So that's my rule, 2n plus 1 describes that sequence. Now part B would normally be, okay, you found the rule, what is, say, the 50th term in the sequence? So rather than me adding on 2 and being there for quite a while until I get to the 50th term, I can use this rule now straight away, and it's going to tell me what the 50th term is. All you're doing is you're substituting 50 in place of n, basically, okay? So 2n means 2 times n, so 2 times 50, because it's the 50th term. If it was a 10th term, it'd be 2 times 10. If it was the 100th term, it'd be 2 times 100. Add 1. Remember, 2 times 50 is first, because of bid mass, and then you add. So 2 50s are 100, plus 1 is 101, okay? So sequence is really straightforward. Nth term, slightly more difficult, but if you remember them 2 key questions on the right-hand side of the screen, you should hopefully be okay to answer that question if it does come up.